In order to survive in hardcore, I need materials. But I'm too lazy to manually do it, so today I decided to completely transform my starter area into a town that will do it all for me, producing thousands of items an hour, which I plan to use for all of my upcoming projects. This entire area here is going to be completely unrecognizable by the end of the episode. Anyway, I'd like to get the bone meal farm up first because I'm going to need that running in the background so that we can have enough bone meal to operate the tree farms. I've cleared a little area for it, so I think it's time we throw this bone meal farm up. And of course, I have no redstone. Let's go over to the raid farm and see if we have some redstone in the chest. I think we do. And we're here. This place just looks incredible. I love this build so much. And, okay. So 3 stacks, that should get us through a little bit. I'm actually going to pop these 2 ominous bottles and try to get some more here. This redstone should get us through a good portion of the farms, but I think we're going to need more, so we might have to come back to this later. With that being said, it's time to get these materials so we can build the farm. And here's all the materials we're going to need for this farm. I think I'm going to wait until it's daytime. Dude, I'm so excited to terraform this whole area. It's going to look so good. And we have the area clear. We have all of the supplies we need. I think we're ready to go. And that's the bone meal farm done. I just need to go get bone meal to actually run it. So right now I can't even turn this on if I wanted to. I probably need like a stack of bone meal or something. So we're going to go into the nether and try to get some bone blocks. You know what? While we're here, we'll try to get the music disc too. Oh man, I'm rusty. There we go. We got it. Let's grab this music disc and head back home. I grabbed 62 bone blocks, and that should be enough to get this bone meal farm going. I shouldn't need to worry about it ever again because this is self-sustaining. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be working. Maybe I missed something? I forgot to put the redstone here, so this should solve the piston problem because the pistons were not working. There we go. Okay, we're good. It's working though. We're chilling. Let's make this ender pearl stasis chamber. Should work now. There we go. Okay, now I just need to cover this up so that no mobs can run into it. And we're all good to go. Now that that's done, I'm going to have to clear out a large area over here just so that we can fit the tree farm because the tree farm's pretty tall. And I'm going to have the build up here on a platform. So we're going to have to probably dig out a hole right next to this so that we can link the 2 farms up. Now that we have the area we're going to be putting the tree farm in, I need to go collect all the materials for the tree farm. And I know one of the major components, other than redstone, is slime. So I need to find a swamp or something to get enough slime balls to make the pistons for this. Now, if I remember correctly, there's actually a swamp somewhere over in the direction of the end fortress. Yeah, so right here, there's a swamp. So we'll be able to hit this up. Hopefully get some slime here in a minute. All right, we found the swamp, and I'm actually going to take some of these blue flowers too. I don't think we have any of these yet. All right, we have almost 3 stacks of slime balls. I think we're good for now. We can head back home. And now we have to quickly gather all of the materials we need. So let's get to crafting. And we have all the materials we need for this tree farm. I just need to build it. But first, I'm going to go to sleep. I really don't want to do this at night. You know, but I'm kind of questioning the whole idea of finishing this before day 500. I'm telling you right now, I think we're going to finish at day 510 or 515 because there's just so much I have to fit into this episode. So we'll see how that goes, but let's go ahead and start building this tree farm. I found the tutorial for this on YouTube. I'll link it in the description below, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. The rates looked pretty solid. I think it does most trees except for acacia and cherry, which I don't use very often anyway, so it's not a really big problem for me. And it does have a TNT duper at the top, which is how it blows up the trees to collect the wood. So I think it's going to work out pretty well. We might have to build another one later down the line, but we'll have to see. All right, so I have the farm done. I really hope this works. I just need to load it up with some bone meal, which our bone meal farm's actually working pretty well. I'm going to end up connecting it to probably later in this episode. But right now we just need to get some bone meal in there. And we need this to fill up. I think it's going to fill this. Yeah, so it's already starting to work. I'm just going to continue to move this bone meal in here. Once we get all the bone meal from the bone meal farm into the tree farm, I think it's time to test it out. I think we're going to end up needing a lot more spruce later, but let's test oak. I want to see if it works. Let me turn on the TNT duper. And please don't break. Please don't break. Oh, Okay, wait, we might be onto something. Oh, I think it works. It's working, look at this. Okay. I need to stare up there, and then we turn this on. And then we can come in, and it should be bone mealing. It works, bro. It's probably super loud, but the tree farm is working. This is awesome. All right, this next farm is really cool. I think it's new tree tech. At least that's what the guy in the video said. It uses some specific state of the block with pistons and TNT, and I'll kind of explain it more in detail as I'm building it. But let's try to get this thing built. So this tree farm is very unique in the sense that it's very small, it doesn't take a lot of resources, and it's very effective. Essentially what it does is there's a redstone timer that pushes the pistons up to match the TNT at the exact time that the block switches into this phase where it can be instantly destroyed. And you could test this with any block, it'll instantly destroy netherite just because of the block phase that it's in. I don't know, I'm not a redstone guy, but this farm is really cool, and I will link it in the description below. So these are the two main farms we're going to be building today, with another moss farm over here, and then probably just moving the beef farm and the mud farm. So we're slowly ticking things off the list. Now that the two main farms are done, the rest of the farms are going to be inside of different builds, and I really need to terraform this area up so I can get a better idea of where I'm going to be putting them. So I think for the next couple of days in game, we're going to be spending them building or terraforming this area. I needed a way to AFK the moss and bone farm so I could continue on the other cliffside that I'm going to be doing in a few minutes. So I decided just to move over to this hole just to cover it up and prepare it for some of the other builds that we're going to be doing today. And this is the area completely filled out and covered. Obviously, I'm going to make it look better later. I just kind of wanted to get like the baseline. But right now, I think we're going to head back over to the tree farm and try to start covering that up because my initial plan was to just do the farms first. But since we're just building two moss farms, essentially, one of them is just going to be converted to bone meal. I was able to siphon some moss from this farm, which should be enough to allow us to complete this cliffside here. So I think we're just going to jump straight into building this. And the reason I want to do that is because it's going to set the basic foundation for where all of the rest of the builds are going to go. So without further ado, I actually need to go collect some of the materials. So let's see how much moss we have. Not bad, actually. Yeah, this should be plenty of moss. Everything that I need for this cliffside is in this shulker, hopefully. I just had to go grab some tuff and some cobblestone. We had everything else, but I think we should be ready to throw this up real quick. I wanted to add a layer of depth to the surrounding area, and I do love terraforming, so I wanted to kind of throw up like a little cliff face, nothing too fancy, just did some texturing in Axiom. I thought it came out pretty good. You guys will have to let me know what you think about it down in the comments. There's no specific gradient or anything like that, and the main purpose of this is just to hide the bone meal farm and the tree farm. I just want to update you guys really quickly. I absolutely love the way that this retaining wall came out. I don't know if it's the colors or just how it blends in with the environment around it. Oh, looks like we have some pillagers over here. I'll worry about those guys later. But I absolutely love the way that this is looking, and I can't wait to do the rest of the area. I need to do some blending here and then over here as well so that it looks more natural going up to the iron farm. And I need the grass anyway, so I might as well just start doing this now. I'm just now realizing I really need to get a beacon at some point, especially if I'm going to be doing a lot of terraforming, because efficiency 5 on this thing is just not cutting it. It's so slow. So we terraformed this whole area, and I think it looks much better now than it did before. Obviously, we're waiting for the grass to grow, but we did get quite a bit of dirt and grass from just terraforming this, so I think it's about time for us to go ahead and finish the cliffside area here. That took an insane amount of time, and we're finally done, which is great news. Now, I think the last thing we need to do is build the lumber mill above it. I want to see if this guy has anything good. No. Okay. I'm gonna need those leads though, my guy. Now it's really time to put this tree farm to the test. We're gonna need a lot of spruce wood for this build, and I don't really have any at the moment. So I'm gonna use this tree farm and see what we get. All right, that was like literally not even 5 minutes of using this farm. I want to see how much spruce we were able to get from that. Oh my gosh. Holy. Dude, the rates on this farm are insane. That was literally not even 5 minutes. Holy crap. Dude, that's so many. That's 10 stacks. There's just something so humbling after having that insane wood farm just to sit here and strip all the logs like this. Now that we had all of the spruce wood necessary for the build, I needed to go collect some of the other miscellaneous materials as well. We are officially on day 500 and minimal progress. I'm actually way behind schedule, but it's fine. It's fine. The collection process for all of these materials is taking significantly longer than I wanted it to, but that's fine. We only need one material left, and that's going to be dark oak wood. So I just need to find some saplings here. We have 8 saplings. We can go test this farm now too. Like I said, this one's semi-automatic, so it's not going to be the fastest and most efficient, but it's definitely the easiest to build. So we just put the saplings here, and then we hit this. That's going to go off, and then we bone meal. And then boom. And then we just break this. And then actually, I don't think those are supposed to be there, but it should be fine. And just like that, we have all the materials we need in these shulkers. So I think it's time to get building. Dude, this got to be one of my favorite things I've ever built. This lumber mill is really cool. We're still adding details here and there, but like this is the overall look of it, and I just absolutely love it. Honestly, the sun's kind of ruining the moment right now. I'm missing some wool. We're gonna put some like trees all along this, so it looks like the wood's being exported from the factory. And then the interior is also not done yet. We're still working on that, but this is mainly just going to be a storage area here. So we'll figure out what we're going to add specifically, but this is mainly just going to be a storage area. I tried to do like a little pulley system. We still have to add some stuff here to make it look a little more realistic, but overall, I'm really happy with the way that this build came out. I cannot lie to you guys. There's one more thing I really want to add to this build, but I can't do it right now because I don't have the wool. But we are going to be adding banners, and the banners are going to have words on them, so it's going to look really cool. I can't wait. But we're going to have to do this later, and we could probably move on to the next project. We're going to be working on this systematically, so we're going to move from right to left, and the next build on the docket is our Autosmelter, and this build is going to go right here. Luckily, I had most of the blocks I needed for this build already, so I just had to go ahead and throw them in some shulkers and build the whole building up. In addition to this, I also built a little crane just to show that it's collecting the materials from the mine that's going to be underneath. I really like the simplicity of this build. I obviously still have to work on the interior and add the Autosmelter, but we could do that later. I also wanted to add some details to the outside, so I threw some raw iron on the crane, I threw some moss and mossy cobblestone and tuff into the hillside, and then I even made a mine entrance with a little staircase leading up. This is the little mine entrance that I came up with. I really like the back side of the shelves for this. The added detail is crazy. I actually got this from watching Corrales, one of the hermits. So I decided to use it here, and I absolutely love the way that it looks. But like I said, we're going to be putting a cobblestone generator down. Oh, looks like I missed one. We're going to be putting a cobblestone generator down here, so I'm going to have to clear out a giant area for this. I'm always having problems with these guys. Bro, he almost blew up my house again. Thank goodness I had totems now, but geez, y'all need to chill with that. Oh. Get out of here. Anyway, this is what I have for the cobblestone generator. I think this is enough space. It's an automatic one. I'm gonna link it down with the rest of the farms in the description. This one's by Big Booty 17. And it's a pretty good farm, it looks like. So we're gonna get this thing set up here, and then we're gonna be able to move on to the Autosmelter. All right, we're testing this. I think it's working. It's working. I mean, it's definitely destroying a little bit of the area, but yo, it works. It works. All right, let's turn this off really quick before I die. I mean, it definitely doesn't look the prettiest. We're gonna have to like clean this up a little bit. I mean, hey, this is unlimited cobblestone, and it works perfectly because we're gonna be building a Autosmelter right above it, so we also get unlimited stone. We're gonna have to figure out a fuel situation later. Maybe later down the line in another episode, we can make a infinite lava generator area. I don't know yet, but this works, and that's one check off the list of things that I need to do today. Once we got the cobblestone generator done, I decided to backtrack a little bit and build the Autosmelter. And there it is. We have a working Autosmelter, which is really good for us. It's going to really help us early game, especially in the starter area. I also really need to consider lighting this area up because there's a ton of mobs. But we'll do that later, and I think now it's time to move on to the moss farm. I was mapping out the area for the build, and I realized that we had a lot of chests scattered around the entire area here. So what did I do, you may ask? Boom! I added chests in the cobblestone generator. I just threw everything in here. It's a mess. We're gonna worry about that later. Right now, I just want to focus on gathering the rest of the materials I need for this moss farm build and then build it. The only item I had to go out of my way to collect was some coral, so I destroyed an entire ecosystem, but it was worth it because this build is going to be pretty cool. That was honestly an eventful trip. I got a ton of stuff. Really just need this brain coral and also these horn corals for later in the video. The bee farm is where we're gonna end up utilizing those. But we got all the coral we need. Honestly, we grabbed a little more than we actually needed. I should also go to sleep. I've also been thinking that I'm really low on food. I've been having to like just find pigs or cows in the wild, and that's not gonna work for me very much longer. I'm gonna need a much more stable source of protein in the coming episodes. I also needed some smooth stone, so this is going to be the perfect time to test out our Autosmelter. Anyway, if we put the stone here, and then the fuel in here, and then we turn that on, it should work, and it's lighting up, so that means it's working. And honestly, it's already done. That was literally like a minute. So we got all the smooth stone we need. I'm just really happy that I'm starting to build all of these now, so that when I'm going to build bigger projects later, which we will be doing, we're going to be able to do it a lot more efficiently. And we have all the materials we need now for this moss farm build, and it's going to have a water wheel. It's going to look really cool. I'm excited for it. The one thing I do want to point out is that we overshot the goal by 30 days. So I don't know who I thought I was finishing this in 50, but that did not happen. Anyway, let's get into the build. Just like that, the build is done. I even did some of the interior. I did this little crank system. I've been watching a lot of Mumbo Jumbo, and I felt inspired to try to make some of the interactable items, quote unquote, look like they're actually going to work. So I kind of made a machine for the water wheel here, just to kind of cycle the water and make it look like it's powered and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it looked pretty cool. Anyway, I need to go ahead and add the moss farm now. And I decided just to kind of tuck this underneath of the build because it's a little too big to put inside of the building. And the last step was connecting the moss farm to the auto sorter. It works. It's all auto sorting. This is wonderful. Usually I'm terrible at redstone, but it's working. Also, I am going to add some more details to the interior later. I just kind of want to leave it for right now. And I think we're going to do some additional storage up here too for some of the items because I feel like the auto sorter is going to fill up pretty quickly. Anyway, I think it's time to move on to the next build that we have planned. Back in episode 3, we established this bee farm because I do use a lot of copper, and today I just kind of wanted to move it over into the town and give it a nice build to be a part of. I really wanted this build to be identifiable from the outside, which is why I went with orange for the walls. It is a relatively simple build, but that's fitting for the rest of the starter town. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I absolutely love the way that this build looks. I really like the fact that I used orange wood here to kind of show that it is a bee farm. I still have to put the hives in. It's currently daytime, so if I put them in now, then the bees will pop out and escape, and we don't want that. But I do have the interior for this build done. I did do the interior, and then upstairs I don't have anything yet, but I'm probably just gonna do a little more storage and then a little bed and stuff. And moving on to some of the other builds that we have to take on this area, okay? So we have to cover this with grass, and then we also have to remove all of this stone and turn it into grass, because I want this place to look like it's like flourishing. You know, there's a lot of life here. But I am gonna have 2 more buildings, so I guess 4 more. There's a set of 3 buildings that I'm going to be placing here, and then a stable I'm going to be placing here, and that stable is going to house our horses. And we just recently got a new addition to the little pet family that we have going on here. This little guy, which you guys dropped a ton of awesome name recommendations, and I think we actually came up with the name. So as a kid, I would watch a lot of cartoons, and Gold, who is one of my longtime viewers over on the streams, suggested the name Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the best names I've seen. Mr. Grimm. What's up, dude? This is so clean. Oh my gosh. I also don't have a name for this donkey. So we're gonna need to fix that this episode. Please, somebody drop a name for this donkey because we need to name this guy. Moving on to this area, we need to completely terraform it. So let's get into this. Dude, this place is really coming together actually. And I know it kind of looks a little patchy right now. We're going to have stuff here covering most of this. That's why I left it. It doesn't make sense to fill it right now. And then we're even going to have like a little market down here. Ooh, I got to turn off the Lightmatic, the schematic for it. But we have a lot going on, but it's really starting to form together. I also have this little port, so in the future we can build ships and things like that, which I think will really tie the area together. I'm just overall really excited about this. I really like the way it's coming out so far. But I'm going to try to squeeze the last couple of builds in here. So we got to add the stable, the shrubs farm, I guess, or flower farms, whatever. And then we got to add the little market. So let's do that. And here we go, the last builds, dude. These are the last two builds. We have our stable here, which is going to house all of our horses. And then we also have this little three building build, which I really like the design of. This is going to house more smaller farms like bone meal flower farms and things like that. I even moved the mud farm in here as well. I haven't gotten to the interiors yet. I'm still trying to work out what farms I want to put in here. So I think as we play through the world, whenever we decide we need these farms, we're going to throw them here. The next area that I wanted to work on was this little market that I had in mind. So it's really just for decoration to kind of bring the town together. For the lore reasons, it's going to be responsible for exporting and trade throughout the entirety of my Minecraft world. So we got the market done. It's just, you know, three little tents here. I'm going to add some details and decorations and stuff later. I just wanted to get most of it done now. And I really like the way that it came out. I actually saw somebody make little lampposts using iron bars and the copper or the lightning rods with the lantern on the top. I think I'm going to struggle getting up here, so maybe I build up. And then we just put the, I think, copper here with the lantern. And then it gives off this really cool like light post effect. I really like that. So I'm just going to repeat that a few more times throughout the little market here. We detailed it up a little bit, and we have like a little honey exporter here because there is a honey farm. We have some sort of, I don't know, smelting area to signify that there's an auto smelter. I'm not sure really what this is supposed to be. Maybe like a fish shop. I have no idea. And then we have a blacksmith shop over here, which doesn't really show what we're exporting, but I guess it just shows the materials and stuff like that. So with that being said, I mean, those are like the major POIs done. I just have to add some custom trees and some other little details sprinkled in. And this project has definitely taken me so much longer than I thought it was going to. I mean, we're on day 572, well over 100 days after I initially started this project. And we're still not done. We still have quite a few things to do. One of those things being some pathways and some custom trees. I spent the next couple of in-game days just building up the area, adding some custom spruce trees, and I even added some custom birch trees. I don't know how to feel about these, but we're gonna go with them for now. Now that I'm done detailing the main town for the most part, I wanted to come up to the lumber mill and add some more custom trees and some fallen trees and tree piles just to make it look like the lumber mill is actually working. You wouldn't be here to buy some lumber, perchance? I don't think so. I don't think this guy actually has anything useful. Fortune 1 iron pickaxe would be an insane pull in the beginning of the game. That would have helped me out immensely. So just for that reason, you can't be here anymore. Oh, oh, you killed your partner, bro. You just spit him to death. What the heck? This is the area that I've come up with. I still have a couple details to add. I don't want to spend too much more time on it today. So I think we're going to do a little bit of work on stream at some point. But I added some custom trees and I added just a bunch of lumber ready to be processed down in the town. And then we even have some fallen trees here. I'm going to build a crane here. I just quickly wanted to show you what I did with the banners and the surrounding area. So, and this is what I came up with for the banners. I really like it. I think it adds a lot of detail and a lot of character. So we just have lumber mill and then we have storage. This is where I'm going to be storing all of the lumber. Surprise, there's still no interior yet. Like I said, I think I'm going to be doing some work on stream because I have to come up with a way to make this look good. And also keep me safe. And then I still have to connect the moss, which I'll do later. But this is gonna be the storage. So I'm basically gonna have probably 3 chests with maybe a bubble elevator and an auto sorter just to sort off all the wood that we have. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with the way that this area came out. And now that we're starting to decorate everything, I think it's time to do some more decoration down in the town. I want to start over here at the stable, and to decorate it, I want to add a little wheat field around it. Honestly, I'm a big fan of this. I really like the little retaining wall here that I did with the wheat field. It's not too big, but it's big enough to where I'm not going to have to farm wheat for a while. I even added some connecting paths, which we're going to add maybe some stairs or slabs here just to make the transition a little easy. And then this is the spot where the guy's going to be living. So all in all, I like it a lot. I've got to say the place is looking absolutely fantastic. Everything's done, bro. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe how good this came out. I'm just using path blocks. I just really like the way that these look here. And then I use mud slabs as like the half slabs to get up. I connected everything. We even added like a little tent here with a little happy gas. I don't know what this is for. Maybe it's just like a little pit stop for food or whatever. We got a well, some pots everywhere, the 3 houses. And then over here, I haven't done anything yet because like I said, I do plan on expanding this at some point. So we have some more room to build some buildings, actually quite a bit of room to build some buildings. Maybe we'll put future farms here. And I really like it. I do have to work on some of the interiors. I think we're going to do that periodically. I'm very happy with the way this came out. And then I was just thinking to myself, before we end the episode, we need to move Grim and some of the other animals as well. So I'm gonna need to get these guys moved all the way over to the stable. So we have 4 animals, 2 horses and 2 donkeys. I don't know if the other donkey has a name. Yeah, so we have 2 donkeys. I need 2 names, guys. 2 names for these guys. I actually don't have a pathway set up for this area yet, so I still need to do that. And then I also want to add some trees. We need to add some custom trees. The custom trees make this area look so much better. We got these guys in their permanent homes. I'm also gonna maybe just add some leads here and here, but we got the horses in the stables, so now there's actually a reason for us to have a wheat field here. Anyway, I have a lot of copper waxing to do, including the roof. This is a project we started on episode 3, and it looks like most of it's fully oxidized. So I was trying to go for a copper oxidization gradient, and we're almost able to do it. So I have a lot of copper waxing to do. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know there was a lot crammed into this little video, but definitely let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comments. And I expect big things coming up for this world very soon, okay? So subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.